History Month, I chose to have a writing activity with a fourth grade class, and as a special education teacher, I was so thankful for the grade level teacher who let me come in, because as we all know, that's a really big thing to get time in somebody's classroom. So I really have to thank Mrs. Kozakowski for letting me do it. But I did, my first writing activity was we just brainstormed a voyage. I set the time period, I set the scene that they were coming across the Atlantic and they were going on a voyage on a ship. And I had the picture that they gave us of the Amistad, but I had the words covered up just in case anybody would recognize it. And they came up with words such as sharks and fish and seasick and blue whales and interesting and extraordinary, and they had these words. Well, then I came back and they wrote, they had to write a little blurb about coming across on a journey. And so they were all, for the most part, fairly happy and good journeys. Then I came back and we reviewed a lot of books that we had here and that I got from my library, and I showed them a lot of art, a lot of the illustrations, a lot of the pictures that really touched their heart, and we read different excerpts. And I said, now our journey is as a slave, and let's come up with words so that we can write about this journey. And the word, I was telling some people, mad and sad were the first two. Everybody came up with mad and sad, but they did. They had words like depressed and evil and crying, unsatisfied, forced, confused, and hatred. And they really, really got it. They came up with great words. And they wrote based on that. And being a special education teacher, of course, I had an inclusion classroom, so some of the students did oral presentations. So they were able to hear all these words being brainstormed, and then when they did their activity, it was an oral activity. But then, being Black History Month, I brought them down to the cafeteria, and I have an entire wall where I had the picture of Shaw. It led into Lincoln, which led into the quilting bee, and my final picture was Martin Luther King Jr. And I had some general information about the prince, and then some interactive that they had to find, like find the winged figure and telling about the poppies and things like that. Of course, we have to get language arts into there, so can you find a man with a mustache? Of course, mustache is a French word where the CH sounds like the SH because we have to bring our Project Read into this. Right? And I was happy when we went to the Museum of African American History that they had the bust there and they had the little plaque, so I took a picture of that and added that to that. I also used the Wordle for this, for our brainstorming words, and I also had, there's an interactive on the computer, and you kind of scroll your mouse over the different parts, and it says, where is there a line of men, or where, can you find the flags, or can you find I think they call it the angel. So you can like scroll it over and see that. And this is a little bit higher. I think this is like a 6th grade, but it's got a great background, and if you even think you might want to use anything like this, or you might want to look for more interactive things like this, I made copies for everybody.
Great.
And I really had a great time doing this. I just can't tell you how much I love this whole project. So.